Hello everyone, and welcome to this Australian broker panel discussion where we're featuring non-bank Bluestone and their Bluestone Home Loans, a special approach to broker-lender relationships. Today we'll be discussing how service and people matter at Bluestone, just as much as product and price to brokers when it comes to Australia's lending markets. We're privileged to have Tony MacRae and team with us to share insights into the company's approach. Alongside Tony, who is Chief Commercial Officer at Bluestone, we have Aaron Taylor, Head of Non-Standard Lending, and Richard Chesworth, Head of Specialised Distribution. All three are based in Sydney. Welcome to you all.
Pleasure to be here.
To be on here.
Mighty better.
Hi there. Okay, to kick off, I'm going to ask a couple of group questions before diving into some more specific areas later on. So, to start with, Tony, in a competitive market, what makes brokers come back to Bluestone beyond just product features or pricing?
We started a journey a couple of years ago, which was really centred around delivering great relationships and great service. By relationships, it was all about ensuring that we had the right people and the right number of people, particularly BDMs, on the ground and accessible to brokers when they needed them. We changed our leadership structure, so we had more local leaders, so aggregators and brokers had real access to senior people within Bluestone. Then we looked at service, and quite frankly, we were a little too complicated and a little too hard to deal with, so we needed to strip that right back and simplify the way we delivered service. It was about eliminating unnecessary requirements, unnecessary documentation, and having a team that took a real common sense approach to approving loans so that a broker knew when they submitted a deal to Bluestone, they were going to get great service, they were going to get great turnaround, and we halved the time to unconditional. And then overarching everything we do is an education-first approach. That's ensuring that we're able to help brokers grow their business. That's about showing them that there is a way for customers that they may have thought circumstances just didn't suit lending. And that truly put brokers in a position where they were able to help more customers and grow their overall business as well.
Oh, excellent. Okay, Aaron, what's your perspective on this?
I find that brokers come back to us time and time again because they like working with the people here. The BDMs able to support the brokers with different products and different ways of looking at the same customer across a range of products they might not have considered before. And we bring a full range of support. I think, Chesy and I, Richard and I, we talk a lot about working with brokers to find new ways to help their existing customer base and grow what they're already doing and expand their businesses.
Okay, thank you. And Richard, how about you?
Very much reinforcing what Tony's just spoken to. Now, it's our ease of use. I think consistency is key and key in the broker's eyes as well, but it's the depth of support. So Tony talked about, the number of BDMs we have out there, but we have our BSMs as well supporting them. But the added depth of the business is Aaron and myself in our roles, really providing that extra support through the brokers. And at the end of the day, what a broker wants is a lender who can execute and deliver on time. And that's really where our focus lies.
Okay, great. All right, moving along. So if you could illustrate in what ways human connection is important in retaining broker loyalty. It could be through BDMs, credit assessors, or support staff. How does this translate to real business growth for brokers? Richard, if I could ask you to start with this.
I think we're predominantly a non-standard and specialised lender in the avenues we go through. And so the key for us is, working with the broker, but to understand the customer story, really get a good picture of that, and then really provide a how-to approach in delivering. It's, there's so many cases where the broker may not have a solution there, but, speaking to Bluestone, we can often look at things in a different avenue and really deliver that solution through.
Okay, great. Aaron?
This is the type of business that we write, the non-standard, non-specialized products. This isn't every single loan for a broker. And, it's only 1 in 10 or 1 in 20 of their customers that walk through the door that actually fit with us. And sometimes it's really about being able to understand the story of that customer and looking through for for ways that we can support them rather than ways that we can't. And I think the brokers really connect with our assessors and our BDMs, being able to get on the phone and find, ways that we can help customers that they might not have realized was possible before. And life gets in the way sometimes, and things happen to customers that can sometimes mean that mainstream lenders would say no to them. And finding a lender that can work with them and understand the story of the customer can really help them grow their business and support their existing customer base, as well as new customers coming through to them.
Okay, thank you, Aaron. And Tony, how about your view here?
Brokers are at the center of everything we do. We originate only through brokers. And so we built our business, our systems, our processes all around brokers. And the whole organization is lined up behind originating loans. And so that means they're lined up behind ensuring that brokers get great outcomes and great service. And so it's a whole of business piece to ensure that we're delivering for brokers, and by that implication, we're delivering for customers as well.
Right, that's a great answer. All right, so next up is education. How does Bluestone invest in broker education, and what kinds of insights or tools do brokers find most useful at the moment? Tony, can you start here?
We do this through many different avenues. We hold regular webinars, whether that be just recently we've held one with Tim Lawless, which is giving brokers a perspective on what's happening in the property market. Or I know Richard and Aaron travel the countryside and do workshops with brokers regularly, which is really about shining a light on how they help more customers that the banks make a little bit too difficult to deal with, or they won't deal with, or customers as well that they may just say, that's too hard, and they're letting that walk by their door. And the other key piece, we've just finished a roadshow all around Australia, which has been a wonderful opportunity to engage with brokers face-to-face, get real-time feedback from them, but really shine a light again on how they grow their business. And so it wasn't about just, here's a whole bunch of policy and products that Bluestone have. It was actually about, here are the opportunities that you may be missing on, or also, are you really focused on your business as opposed to just doing transaction after transaction? And so it's really a multifaceted, and then that's backed up by a wonderful team of BDMs around the country that just interact and workshop deals with brokers day in, day out.
Right, okay. Aaron, what kind of insights do you have on this one?
Being a BDM myself here for Bluestone, I've recognized over the years that brokers love finding new ways they can help their customers. And it's really difficult sometimes because you don't know what you don't know. If you've worked in the bank or you've not worked in the industry for long, then it can be hard to identify those opportunities and figure out what is possible. And I think the best part about being able to work with a non-standard lender is getting those discussions out in the open and working with us. Richard and I have been around the country and spent a lot of time with brokers identifying opportunity in the brokers' businesses, whether it's with existing referral partners or new ones, and working with customers in different ways that they might not have thought was possible before. And there's a lot of face-to-face events we do, which are always great. And, you get that real connection with brokers on the ground. We run webinars very regularly to help update brokers with different ideas and different ways of looking at the same thing. Because at the end of the day, that customer for the broker is a customer for life. It's not just about this transaction. It's also about what's to come in the following years, getting out of the non-standard specialized space and working back through in the prime space in years to come. The customer is a customer for life for those brokers. So it's really about understanding their journey for that customer.
Okay, thanks, Aaron. And to round it off, Richard.
Look, I think we're in a world. There's so much information out there, and detail in what people need to understand. But it's important to know that we don't know what we don't know, and be open to that. Our role here is very much on the education point, is to remove that complexity and give the brokers the confidence to kind of manage that journey with their customers. it's important as a broker, you grow with your customers. So again, that's where our support comes in to help you grow with the customers. And how we're doing that, as Tony mentioned, it's everything from webinars through to face-to-face sessions and, the how-to guides to deliver at the end of the day.
So Bluestone specializes in helping brokers navigate complex or non-standard lending. How do you support them to build confidence and capability in those areas, particularly around SMSF, LTOC, or self-employed lending? So, Richard, this is your area. Could you lead off with this?
I think in the SMSF space, again, it comes back to the education and support to the brokers. So help them build their understanding and confidence. So it's not just this is an SMSF loan. There's a number of things to know behind that. Then it's the framing the opportunity, where the opportunity lies for the brokers. We often talk about the refinances. There's a lot there not being refinanced. And the accountants and planners don't think of that. So it's a real start point there if you haven't done SMSF lending. And if you have, still really leverage those conversations because it's going to open up those new customers for you. So refinance is key. The other thing we really drive home to the brokers is the importance to keep the conversation to credit advice in all you do. Now, sometimes that may not be by giving advice or making a suggestion, but it's asking the right questions to direct the broker or the customer to the right advisor, whether it's their accountant, advisor, or solicitor. And the last thing I think is key in this area, especially with SMSF, and this makes the broker a key piece in the conversation, is to work close with the solicitor, the accountant, and the advisor. So at the end of the day, everyone's on the same page. I always say, some brokers don't have an SMSF loan come across their desk every month. And I feel that's the same sometimes with the solicitors and sometimes the accountant and advisor. So it's working together to assist the customer at the end of the day.
Yeah, excellent advice there. Thank you. All right, Aaron, any thoughts on this one?
I think the key here is to take away the complexity and look through it and actually understand the customer's situation. And I think what we do well is understand that the customer's story is key to the situation and understanding where they are now and what their plans are into the future, and working with the broker to make those complex structures and products seem really easy to support them be confident in front of their customers. And I think the key there really, once again, just the customer journey. It's not just about the transaction right now. We're looking into the future to support the broker and the customer all the way through their lifetime. An alt-doc product can be pretty scary the first time you do it. Might not know how to read a business activity statement or work with an accountant to get an accountant status signed. But the reality is, after you've done a couple, you start to be really confident in it. And for brokers, it's a great way to grow your business is to expand your product offerings and try to use some of these products to grow your space and support more customers. So I find it a really rewarding part of our role is to help brokers be confident in new products and start writing different types of deals that they might not have done before, which is awesome.
What are some of the strategic decisions or behind-the-scenes processes Bluestone has implemented to improve the broker experience? This could range from credit assessments to long-term relationship building. Tony?
Bluestone has an overarching strategy of being the preferred partner for brokers, and that's been a three-stage approach for us over the last 18 months. First stage I spoke about, which was all about relationship in service, ensuring we had the right people, the right number of people, and simplifying what we did. We're now just completed the second phase, which has been about ensuring that we've got the right funders in place and the right policy parameters with funders in place, which has meant that we've been able to simplify some of our credit policy and broaden some of the areas that we're able to lend in so that we can say yes more often. We've also refreshed our brand and our values. So we wanted to make sure that brokers knew what Bluestone stood for in the marketplace. We've been around for 25 years and we've been helping customers that the banks wouldn't help or just made it too hard to. And we continue to want to be that non-standard lender that says yes more often. But the best is still to come, and we're at the pointy end right now of building and launching some new products so that we can be that preferred partner for brokers every day, namely small ticket commercial and alt-doc construction, which we'll look to launch into the marketplace next quarter.
Right. Okay, talking about the pointy end, this is the final question. Brokers often say service and transparency matter more than rate. What does Bluestone do differently to earn repeat business and broker trust? Tony, if you could answer this one too.
Key to this is really getting behind the customer story, not just relying on a credit score or the pure numbers or pristine balance sheets and profit and loss statements, but actually understanding what's the story behind that. If the customer has had some issues, we want to know about it. We want to know what caused those, but we want to know what's being put in place to avoid those in the future so that we can understand the circumstances and actually find a way to deliver for brokers and customers more often. And I think that's really the secret sauce to Bluestone, of being able to help brokers grow their business, but also help customers when others thought it was just too hard to do that.
There we go. Now we know the secret sauce behind Bluestone Home Loans. That concludes our Australian broker panel. Thanks to Tony MacRae, Aaron Taylor, and Richard Chesworth. And thanks for watching Australian Broker TV. Bye for now.